Well, meteorologist John Hickey joining us live in the backyard. Lots to talk about today, John, but for right now, it seems, at least here at the station, we're in a little bit of a calm before the storms.
Yeah, a little lull in the action. Welcome back from vacation, by the way.
Thank you. Had a good one, but
good.
Back in the action.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, and so a loud welcome, a raucous welcome here from Mother Nature with some of these storms coming through. In fact, you can see that scroll going along top of the screen right now. That is a flash flood warning that's in effect up in Susquehanna County. That runs until 2:45 this afternoon. So there are still a couple of storms around here early on, but looks like another round potentially looming in just a couple of hours' time. So I want to show you one of our camera views. We'll take you down to Wilkes-Barre for this one. You can see kind of this murky sky, but again, lull in the action after a few storms were rumbling around a little bit earlier this morning, and some of those, as we showed you during our first weather segment, even causing a little bit of damage in spots like LaPorte, seeing some hail, Lower Talmadge Township, some trees down, same in Kunkletown. It's 80 degrees right now, not much sunshine, but boy, is it humid still. Those dew points are running high, well into the 60s. Temperatures now, lots of 70s on the board, a couple of spot 80s, including down the road at the airport as well as in Nanticoke. But some of you have seen some showers, and as a result of that, temperatures are pulled down a little bit, including New Milford, where there's a pretty heavy downpour up there now, and that's causing a little bit of a cool down. But you can see the dew points are high, so that high moisture content in the air, if we bust out into some sunshine, those storms could be noisy this afternoon. We have a flood watch in effect for eastern Pennsylvania. It runs until midnight. You know, you might not think that there would be any concern for flooding because it's been so dry, but just not the case. Looks like we could find some very hefty downpours, not a lot of time, and that could introduce some localized flash flood issues here this afternoon. You can see on the radar there are some storms forming, especially up through our northern tier as well as out into Pike County. We'll take you up to one of those. This is the one in Susquehanna County. That's the one that has that flash flood warning on it until 2:45, but it's quickly lifting out of there. So places like New Milford, Lakeside that may have seen some quick flash flood issues, some localized stuff, some poor drainage issues should quickly dissipate because you don't have the heavy downpour hanging overhead for too much longer. You've also got this storm heading up towards Lackawaxen, Tafton. You've seen some hefty downpours. That's going to continue on northward. So wide angle view. The concern here this afternoon is see how there's some clearing now, or at least some partial clearing across portions of southern Pennsylvania and across central Pennsylvania too. If that window of clearing rotates through, that's going to allow the atmosphere to really get juiced up. And there's some other atmospheric stuff in play that would get some of those storms cooked up and potentially producing some severe storms, more widespread severe storms this afternoon. Much of the area in a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe storms this afternoon. That risk runs through about 10 o'clock tonight. Some damaging wind gusts, some hail will be the greatest concerns. We can't rule out an isolated tornado, but again, the greater concern would be for some of those strong and damaging straight line winds. Let's show you what the radar might look like later today. So you can see we've got a couple of hours here. This is 3 o'clock this afternoon. Still not a lot happening, but shortly thereafter, it looks like the atmosphere is going to kind of get juiced up here. Between about 6 and 7 or so is when we can start to find some significant storms starting to bubble up, and potentially even a line of those storms approaching the Wyoming Valley, Lackawanna Valleys, closer to about 9 o'clock tonight. So you just got to stay weather aware later today. We've got streaming updates here on WNEP. We've got our stuff going on the app. We've got all of our social media updates. So we'll keep you ahead of things for the rest of today. Overnight, storms will be around early, but then they clear out. But don't sleep on this. More storms tomorrow. They're not going to pack the same amount of punch, but another line of some stronger storms not out of the realm of possibility come tomorrow afternoon with some torrential downpours and frequent lightning. But the damaging wind risk looks to be most prevalent a little bit later on today. So that's a look at the next 7 days. Watching those storms for you this afternoon. Still some storms around Tuesday, Wednesday, but again, lacking that punch that some of the ones today's will. And then maybe some few and far between storms for Thursday, Friday. Of course, this is all good news if we can get some of these storms to clear out a bit here, Rennie. We're going into 4th of July weekend. We got to clear things out a little bit. All the fairs, festivals, fireworks displays.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we'll keep the fingers crossed. Right now, the weekend not so great, but Thursday, Friday could hold some promise for the communities having fireworks displays.
Well, that sounds good at least. But
Yes.
in the meantime, I know it'll be a busy afternoon and evening for you guys in the Weather Center.
Hot time in the old town tonight.
All right. Thanks, John.